Hello, welcome everybody. I'm really excited to show you what I've been working on today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Pattern CAD, and it's one of the features that you receive in your automation. It's a fun feature to try and learn, and it allows you to make designs, quilting designs to sew out on your quilt. And so I just want to jump in and show you a little bit about how Pattern CAD works and give you some rules and some ideas and thoughts, and just show you a little bit about what's going on and how to use it. So let me jump in and talk to you about designs first, okay? With designs you have, and I've talked to you about this before, you have a starting point and an end point. And when you're creating those designs, those points are really important if you want to make it a continuous design. Now, if you're just making a design for a block, it doesn't really matter where it starts and where it stops, because you're just quilting that design within that space. And so it's not moving out into the next area like a continuous line design. So let me jump in and show you my laptop, because I was able to bring my laptop in today. And that's what's so nice about our automation, is that we allow you to load your automation on 3 different devices. And a lot of other companies, they just allow you to only put it on your tablet, and that's all you have. And so you're taking your tablet here, there, and everywhere. Where I have loaded this onto my laptop, and I'm able to take my laptop and use my mouse, which I find it much easier to use my mouse than to try and draw a design using the tablet and the touch screen. So let me move it back this way just a little bit. Okay, so now you see my screen, and you see that I'm on the home screen. And yes, this is the Pro version, and how you can tell is right here. It says Quilters Creative Touch 5 Pro. And Pattern CAD is a feature within the Pro version. You don't get it with the beginnings. Okay, so I'm going to click on Pattern CAD because it's right here in other features, and I'm just going to open it up. And you can see that I have my pattern screen here. So when you're designing or creating a pattern, first of all, stop and think about the space or the area that you want to create the design for. So if you're creating a border, try to figure out the size of the border that you want, and give yourself a set of parameters to work with. And so what I do is I like to, if I'm creating a border in a corner, I'll just give me 2 lines that go across. So let me just show you a couple of features first, okay? And I don't want to jump around too much, because I'm just showing you the basics. I'm not going to jump in and show you all the little features and things like that. This is just the basics, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a parameter. So I'm just going to go over here, and I'm going to tell it that I'm drawing. So right over here you have your pattern keys, you have your draw and your edit. Right here is the draw. I'm going to click on my draw with my mouse, okay? And now I'm going to decide which of these lines segments I want to use. I have line, which I like line, but not for this, because I like splines, if that's how you say them. I really like to use those. So today I'm just using splines and arcs, just for your information, okay? So I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to click on it and draw. Oops, sorry. I'm nervous, you can tell. Okay, I'm going to just go from here to here, and I'm going to make 1 line, okay? But this, I want to draw a pantograph for a border. So I'm drawing a rectangle because I want it to go across, okay? So that's kind of what my border would look like, okay? So I want to be able to just draw in this area, and because I want to make this into like a background layer. And in Pattern CAD, you can do that. So what I'll go over here to is now I'm going to click on Edit, and I'm going to select all my little nodes. These are what we call nodes, and I'm going to select them all, and they'll turn red, okay? And now that I've selected them, I can go over here to my layers, okay? Because I want this design to be a background layer. So I'm going to go over here to layers, and I'm going to click on copy to bottom layer, all right? So once I do that, if I move this, notice that now I have that design on my background, and I can get rid of this segment. So I can just play within this space right here on my screen. So like I told you, I like to use arcs, okay? Splines and arcs. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my arcs, okay? And I'm going to start over here. And I'm going to start in the center because I want my design to start in the center of this and end in the center, okay? So I'm just going to go across using my little 1-inch segments. So I'm going to move my arc right over here and stop it. And then I'm going to tap on my space key and move it up, okay? That gives me one, okay? So I'm done with that. I want to move on to my next. And this one, I'm going to do a down feature. And I'm just going to pull it down. And see, I almost hit the top of that one. So your grid pattern really does help you make your design even and look nice, okay? So, and I could keep going across and doing that, up, down, up, down, up, down, but I'm not going to. So this is the design that I like. I think it'll be cool, and I'll show you what it does. So I'm just going to save this right now, okay? And right up here, you can see that Pattern CAD has been around a long time because we're using a floppy disk to save. And so I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to save my design. So what I'm going to do is, I'll just call it K's, and I'm going to put a space in there, D-E-S-I-G-N, and hit enter again, and then I'll go down into my file name, K Design, and then I'm going to click on save, and now my design is saved, and it's saved in my continuous line designs. Okay, so let me show you what this design looks like in the pantograph, because you will be amazed just how simple of a design can create just really cool things, designs using your pantograph. So I'm going to get out of here because I've already saved it, and I'm just going to click on my red X to exit Pattern CAD, and I'm going to come back in and show you a few more things, okay? So don't worry, we're coming back. And no, I've already saved it. So I'm going to come in here to my pantograph, and I've selected Power Panto mode, okay, as my mode. And you can see that my total width and total height are 150. That's not going to be a quilt size. I'm not going to mess with the quilt size because I just want to see what the design looks like, okay? So I'm going to come up here to and it's alphabetical, and it's K's Designs. So I'm trying to find it. There it is, in my K design. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to open. Okay, see how cool that is? Just that simple little design just made that really a neat little design all the way across your quilt. Okay, so now we're going to play with this design using the Power Panel mode. I didn't get to show you what the flip features do to the design, so I'm going to just start clicking on them and show you what happens, okay? So look, so it just changed the directions, and now when I click on this one, it makes it into loops and circles, and just that simple little design. Wow, it's really fun. So really, that's what you can do with just such a simple design. Now, let me show you what another design, and when you go to sew this out, I was sewing in zones, because I kept my segments together. Nah, we don't want to save this because I'm not going to use that. See what it's going to look like when you quilt your sections, and it's a continuous line because I don't have any trims or breaks in it, but it's just really cool and a lot of fun. So that's kind of what it looks like, and I just wanted to show you because it's really exciting how easy or how simple the designs can be and what you can create by just simply doing just 2 lines. So let me show you a couple others that I worked on and that I did. So I'm just going to get out of here, click on my red X, that takes me back to my pantograph, and now I'm just going to click on the home and go back into Pattern CAD and just kind of show you a few other designs and why I created them. So I'm just going to select one of the other patterns that I did, and these two, my arc's not so simple. It was okay, but it wasn't that cool, so I really don't want to show you that one. So I'm going to move down, and these two were pretty cool, okay? So what I did is, on this one right here, I'm going to open it up and just show you. I created an on-point square, and I just did my down and across and layered it to the back, so I had a square to fill, so I could just follow it. And this is what I created. I also did the one with the curved ends, so I changed this line here using an arc. So let me go and show you what these look like, and they were just really simple, very basic designs. What it looked like, but that's how I did it. I just did an on-point square, and I layered it to the background, and then I started moving down and across and just made it very even and very precise. And then when I come into my optimize, it's one continuous line design, and it's going to continue on because it's very even. And so we're going to be okay when I go into my pantograph. No, I don't want to save it. So now I'm going to come into my pantograph, and I'm going to show you these two, and just by changing the design just a little bit, you get a totally different look. So I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to select this one first and show you what it does. See, kind of cool, a little basic, and now you can just start playing with it, flipping it. And I thought that was pretty cool, what it did. And that, you saw how easy it was to create just that simple design, but look at this one. It looks really cool. And then when I go to sew in zones, you'll see what it looks like. It's just one continuous line. So it's kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to get out of this, and I'm going to go and pull in my other design that I made by just changing it just a slight bit by using my arc down here at the bottom. So, yeah. And see what it looks like, and just play around with them. And I could space this so they don't overlap, so I'm just going to add a little space into it. Okay, and just clean up the design just a little bit. And you can add some more spacing. Anyway, a fun, simple design that looks cool, and you could sew that all the way across your quilt, and it's a lot of fun. So let me show you one that's a broken design where I didn't connect. And so I just wanted to show you this one. I believe it is this one, this arc simple. I'm going to open it up. Okay, it looks really cool, but if I zoom in, you can see right here that my little center parts, they're not matching up and they're not meeting. So when I go to sew in zones, I have all these little trim lines because my design this little connection didn't meet. Well, there's a way to get rid of it, and that's in Optimize, okay? So you go into Optimize, okay? And I'm hoping this works, okay? I shouldn't have done it back and forth, but then you would start tracing it back and forth, but my one starts over here, so I've got a little cleaning up to do. So I'm going to show you what to do in Pattern CAD, because this is too much work, and I don't want to spend time doing that. So I'm going to say cancel, and I'm going to get out of this, And I'm going to get out of this screen. And I'm going to go back into my Pattern CAD and fix it in Pattern CAD. So let's go home, go back into Pattern CAD, and I'm going to select my pattern, and it was my arc simple. I'm going to open it back up. Okay, so now I'm going to tap on the optimize. Well, it looks like it's connected there. So my stop and my end points, because this point, and so this is what's wrong with this, okay? This design and why it's breaking apart, okay? Because my start point and my end point are clear up here, and it doesn't match with my bottom point down here. So it's pulling the design apart, and it's breaking it right here so it will make it fit. And that's why you saw that I had all these start and stop points. So what I need to do is push this back up so it's even, or these down. So they're down by here, so it looks more cohesive and will work as a design. So those are just a few things that as you're creating designs you need to remember, that if this isn't even across and it's pulling it outside the area because of where I started and stopped, it's going to break your design and you're going to have a harder time fixing it. So let's go in and let's cancel and let's see if we can fix it and make it work correctly. So I'm going to go up here to my edit feature and click on that. And now I can just click on each of these, and I'm just going to pull it down right here and put it on this point right here. And now I'm done with that one, and I'm going to click on this one right here. Well, I want to click off of this one, because if I clicked on this one and had this one, it would start moving with me. So I have to make sure that I unclick this and not have it be red. And I'm just going to move this down, and I just want it to be like this. Okay? Okay, so now I can save this, and I'll just save it as my arc new simple. So that's what I'm going to put, and we're going to put AR's new MPLE and see how that works. And I'm just going to hit enter and save. Okay, well, let's go try it in Pantograph. So I'm going to click out of here. Nope, I've already saved it. And we're going to go back into Pantograph, and we're going to see if it works. Oh, I'm in Power Pattern mode. I'm sorry. Select pattern, and we want my arc new simple. And we're going to click on it and open it up. And now let's see if I have that. I'm hoping I don't. I hope that was the answer. Now, dang it! All right, it's because I didn't pull it past, so darn it. Well, nix that. That's not true. I'll have to figure that out, and I'll tell you that next time. But that's what's fun about creating designs. You learn so much from creating them, and you learn the ins and outs. So crazy. I thought that would fix it, but it didn't. So anyway, we'll get out of that, and that's for another day, okay? I'll fix it, and I'll tell you next week what's wrong with that. But anyway, I just want to show you one other feature that I thought was really cool and a lot of fun, and that is in Pattern CAD that you can get a background or load an image. And I'm just going to go into my pictures right here. And you can see I have a lot of pictures. And there is a good old Wolverine. I'll just open this, and I'll click on him, and I will open him up, okay? Oh, it didn't work. Oh, yeah, there. That was a relief. Okay, so now you can start tracing around good old Wolverine and playing with him and create a continuous line, or just make him be a motif and he'll just quilt in a square. So you could decide how you wanted. One way that I would do it, it'd be fun to make it a continuous line so you could turn it up and down, but you just want to make sure that you're starting and stopping right in the right area, and you can delete and remove nodes, So I don't like this, so I just take my back arrow and I take it off because I forgot that I really like spleens. I don't like lines. So I want to click on that, and now I want to make sure that I'm coming out far enough, and we'll start tracing around him. And then we'll come up here, and you can change the color of your lines so that you can see them a little easier, but you just play with it and just go around him. And now I'm ready to do my next one. And so I want to come out right here, and I want to click on that, and my space bar allows me to move those little handles. These round circles are called nodes, and these little squares are like the little handles that you move to move the lines, to manipulate them to make curves and things like that. So I just wanted to show you a real cool design that Bryant, the guy who films me every week, designed. He's very artistic and very creative, and so I'm going to get up and move to my tablet because I loaded him on my tablet. And you can see that it's this little elephant. It's so cool. He designed this, and what he did is he started in Illustrator because he knows that pretty well. And so he designed them in Illustrator and took it and brought it in and finished it up in Pattern CAD and made it sort of a continuous line, okay? Because he started right here at the top of the elephant, we have like little breaks. And breaks are okay for a design that you want it to look, you want it to sew correctly. Because if I went in and did away with all of these breaks right here, it would sew a line from here to here, and I don't want to ruin my design by sewing a line across it. So a break is okay. You just tug on your thread and let it move to the next section to start sewing the next group of elephants. So not only did he do the elephants, just the outline, but he added some really cool features. So I have two designs rather than one. So this is pretty cool as well. So he took the Pattern CAD. I want to get out of this, okay? And this is the first design that he developed. Then he started embellishing the design and adding more details and features to it, okay? I'll get my big fat head out of here. No, we don't wish to save it. So here's the other design. And look at all the details he was able to add. He was able to add, you know, and he started down here. So see, notice this is more of a continuous line because it started down here and he moved to this point here. So let me show you this in pantograph, okay? So I just want to get out of this screen. Now I'm in the pantograph. I'm going to select this other pattern that he created. Okay, so this is a more detailed, and it's just a single pantograph. But as I place it, I'm just going to place it as a single design. And I'm not going to place it on the quilt. I just want to show you what it will do. Yes, I want to proceed. See how I don't have any trim lines on this one because of how he created it. He started right here and he ended right here. So it's one continuous design where it's not starting up here and has the break just jump to the next elephant. So like I said, the starting and stopping points, except for my one stupid design that I couldn't figure out, work. And they're a good rule of thumb as you're playing with patterns. So my challenge to you is to try a simple design. Play with it if you have the pro version. If you don't, you can upgrade to the pro version because it's a lot of fun to work with. I mean, Bryant, you can just say, didn't you have a good time? It was a lot of fun designing the elephants, wasn't it? He gave a thumbs up. You can't see him, but he gave a thumbs up. He really enjoyed it. And, you know, there's something about it. It's really therapeutic. It's like doodling. Doodling when you're free motion quilting is really important. So doodle all the time, okay? So anyway, let me jump in and talk to you real quickly about next week. Which one? Okay, number 3. Okay, I want to talk to you about next week because I'm very excited about this. And There's been a couple of quilters out there who wanted this design for a long time, and they keep saying, I'm going to get it done. Well, I'm getting it done. And that's my kaleidoscope quilt. You've seen this quilt in a lot of ads out there. But what's fun about this quilt, and I'm going to get you the design, but what's fun about this quilt here, okay, I'll hold it up. It's a lot of fun because playing with the colors on this, you can just create so many different looks. And so I'll show you all of those next week. About 3? Okay. Okay. I'm going to show you that and let you get that pattern next week. I'm going to show you how to cut it out and get sewing on it. And then the week after that, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to quilt it. And so, did we have any questions? Or I explained it so well that you don't have any questions. I hope. Anyway. Was there a question before we go?
I don't see any here. Just someone talking about snap to grid. Do you want to explain what trim lines are?
Oh, trim lines are a break in the design, okay? And so they're where the sections do not meet together. So when you see those trim lines, it's not on the elephants. It wasn't connecting this one to this section of elephant. But because he did his start point down here, this one is connected. But the trim line is just where it has to jump to the next section to start sewing, okay? And sometimes it's okay, other times you don't want to start and stop a lot of times. So, and snap to grid, okay, that's when you want your lines to snap to the grid line. Sometimes that can be okay, and other times that it won't help you. So you need to be really careful, because if you're doing diagonal lines, you don't want them to snap to the grid because it's not going to work. So make sure that you understand with the square designs, it's okay because it'll snap to that grid line and make it nice and straight. But with other shapes, it's not going to work, okay? So just jump in. Play with it. Give it a try. You don't know until you try it. And I have a lot of quilters out there that say, oh, I'm so old, I can't do it. That's not true. You can do whatever you put your mind to, and you are very capable because you have lived long enough to know that you are capable of doing whatever. And besides that, we're a strong, united front, and I want you to be able to quilt how you want to quilt. Not how I quilt, but how you want to quilt. I can't stress that enough. And so with my designs, with my thoughts, my ideas, go ahead, make them your own. Make it so that you will quilt what you love, and that's all I want to do is empower you as something that I like to do. So I just want to give you the tools so that you are capable of doing what you love so much. And join me next week because I'm really excited about this pattern. It's my kaleidoscope quilt is what I'm going to call it. And I'm just really excited to show you all the different backgrounds to make it a different design. So it's just a really cool quilt. So join me next week, okay? And we'll see you then. You take care. Everybody stay safe.